Hello, IGN. My name is Jose Otero. I'm here with Per Schneider.
Hey.
And we are playing a very special game. You never would have thought you'd see Nintendo and Sega work on something together. It
This
feels like
is yeah, this is right after Sega basically went off the Dreamcast and said they're becoming agnostic and they're making games for other companies.
it became a third-party publisher. This is F-Zero GX, which was made by Amusement Vision, released on the Nintendo GameCube in 2003. The most hardcore iteration of F-Zero ever.
It's a really hard game, but it's also, it's just full of fan service and it's packed to the brim. Like, you really can't say that this game doesn't enough content. It's got so much. I mean, we're talking about like 4 cups with 20 courses. There are an additional set of courses hidden in there that were initially designed for the arcade version, because GX also exists as an alternate game called AX with, fewer tracks and fewer racers, but, made by Sega for the arcades. It's such a cool game. It's it's got like a story mode in it for the first time with these kind of cutscene sequences with all the crazy characters. It has 4-player split screen, like F-Zero X before it, but it's just so good.
Excellent, excellent. And the producer on this game is Nagoshi, who is notoriously known for his tan. He is the producer on the Yakuza series, but he was also producer on Daytona on Super Monkey Ball. Specifically, Daytona USA is special because...
Well, he says that the original F-Zero inspired him on the Super NES, inspired him to make Daytona USA, and really he learned so much from the way that game is balanced and the way it's set up. It's a huge influence on him.
Yeah, yeah. And so, this is what, the third console entry in the series, because it was F-Zero,
yeah,
F-Zero X. This is GX. The arcade had, there was an arcade version called F-Zero AX, which ran on the Triforce board. That was another special collaboration between Nintendo, Sega, and Namco, 3 of the biggest companies making video games in Japan.
And that, AX, there was actually, it's so cool. There's a special edition full motion cabinet of AX that I got to try out ages ago. I think it was at Tokyo Game Show or something like that. And it's like, it tilts while you're driving, and it is... it's just so intense to play that game.
Some serious engineering went into that.
But so I'm playing this right now. I have not played this in a decade. I know it's a terrible excuse, but this is a hard game. I remember it kicking my ass repeatedly when I first played this. And I'm playing in baby mode right now. This gets harder and harder, and it's just insane.
Well, this game, even on baby mode, does not play around for the most part. Baby mode being novice is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's right.
Not standard or expert. In case, just for a little bit more technical context, this game is running at 60 frames per second on the GameCube, and it is a beautiful sight. Very smooth animation. Never, this is an era where, so the 3D era obviously kicked off with the PlayStation and with the Nintendo 64, and you did see examples of racing games and maybe the occasional slowdown. There is no slowdown in this game. It is absolutely perfectly engineered in a way that you have 30 cars on screen you're racing against. You have all these intense effects in an environment, and it runs at a smooth 60.
Yeah.
And it's really, really impressive. And you're watching Per in first place. No pressure, Per.
Well, that's baby mode. But it's damn, I missed that boost. But it's kind of hard to talk and play. But the cool thing, just look at this track design. F-Zero X introduced the concept of these tubes and tunnels into the franchise.
Yeah,
right?
with 3D.
The first one was all flat, and Mode 7, that was bad. Whatever I did here. And it's just, look how easily they pull this off. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background too, but they've got these tubes, and they have 30 racers at the same time, including you. Oh, that guy got me bad. And it's just like, they make it look so easy, and this is at the time when a lot of games were still struggling with 3D on the GameCube, not running smoothly, having lots of slowdown and issues, and they just did this, and it was unbelievable when we first played it. Sorry, I was trying to take that guy out. That was not a good idea.
It feels like 60 frames per second was the promised land to an extent. Like, we didn't really... I want to say I didn't really hear a lot about games of that style. And granted, maybe I missed out a few.
Yeah.
But the one thing this game had this reputation is it's not only F-Zero, and it's not only, technically, very impressive, reviewed really well, but it's also a really hard game.
It's really hard, yeah.
And it was also the last console F-Zero to, for full context for people. There hasn't really been a console dedicated F-Zero game since. There was another on GBA probably a little before or around this time. But in terms of the franchise as a console mainstay, it has kind of vanished. Anti-gravity, which was F-Zero's signature thing, is now a part of Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And there is a fan base that hopes to see F-Zero return one day, and I think it will. I think it's
just
a matter of figuring it out.
Look at this. I mean, I feel like there is room. These pillars are brutal. There is room for another F-Zero, because look how vertical this game is and how fast it is, right? We'll go into the next track in the Grand Prix to kind of show you a different flavor and the tunnels in it. By the way, when you said you wanted to play this like 2 days ago or whatever, I frantically looked for my memory card, and I think where I had the same save, it's corrupted.
So what was your favorite? Do you remember your favorite car in this thing?
You know what? Not sure. I think I just love the Blue Falcon. I like Captain Falcon, so I played as him a lot. But I tried out all sorts of other racers, and during the setup you can actually favor acceleration over max speed. And the lower right you can see, just like in the classic F-Zero games, you can see like the body type, the different setups. We also played F-Zero expansion kit, so look for that video if you've never seen it, the 64DD version, and that has a lot of cool stuff that made it into that one, namely the pilot, the car customization. You can do stuff. You can even design your own emblem. But just look at, like when we saw this game, we said, "Oh man, so this is what GameCube games are going to be like." And no, unfortunately not.
No, but
not
this is
a lot of
special
games
example
look like
of
this.
Possibly one of the best games running on the system.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what else would be on that list?
It's still unbelievable. Look at this.
Yeah.
Smooth transition to a tunnel.
Yep.
Just look at the fact that all these other guys, one of the Achilles heels of past Nintendo systems was doing these transparencies where you have glass, and I mean, there's no dithering, there's nothing going on here that looks like what you've seen in lots of other GameCube games. It just looks gorgeous and smooth. I just love this game.
When it plays,
I should have gone
too.
on the ceiling for that boost. I forgot.
Oh, that's okay.
But yeah, in the first round, obviously you don't have your boost, and I'm not really damaged, so I should have taken the boost up there.
And especially the half pipes strike me as something that is super cool.
Look at this.
With the physics specifically, look at that.
Look at this zigzag here. You zigzag. You got to go around these.
Well, and these are tubes you were just in. This is so cool. The design, how it sort of weaves in and out of itself.
Yeah. Now let me back out. I'll show you another level if you've never played this game, because there is so much variety in this game. Let's do time attack here.
And you really did need to invest the time to get good, especially if you had the expert thing in mind.
There's a fourth cup, of course, that unlocks as you race this. Here we go.
Yeah.
Sorry, what did you want to say?
Oh, no, you're doing fine. No, I was going to bring up that if people are interested, they should definitely look up speed runs of this game, because they're actually fantastic. Like the kind of skips that are built, they aren't built in. I mean, you are glitching to get out of certain areas to drop in others, but it is crazy to watch. Like, see someone just launch themselves off of like the edge of a road and then just land on a separate part of the track, and it wasn't intended.
Yeah,
so
and there are all sorts of. So just to give you an idea, right? You've got these. Oh
Whoa.
my God! The first thing I do is
You've
fall.
been retired.
All right, hold on. We're gonna do that again.
All right, retry.
There's tremendous verticality in these levels too, with jumps, and there are tracks with shortcuts too. You can do some cool stuff. This game had of course some exploits like the infamous snaking in it. There are all these things. You can do these showy moves where you go around corners with the spin.
Yeah, and the spin is mostly a defensive move or an offensive move against other cars. That's super important. Right now we're in practice, right? Look at this. Look at that. That's so crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you want to kind of limit your airtime in this game too. Oh God, you want to limit your airtime because flying through the air does take more time.
Yep.
God.
I do want to mention. I mean, and we have, but campaign mode or story mode made you want to throw a controller, because this game is so hard. Like, there's no mercy whatsoever in some of these races. They will pass you and they will keep going.
We always called this stuff sand, which is of course funny to have sand that
in the future
will slow down. Here are the mines. This is minefield. Like in the second lap, when you're running out of energy to hit that, it's just really brutal and mean. But this game gets just so fast, and it was kind of cool because. You could tell Sega was a little bit ahead of Nintendo when it came to embracing new technologies, or new being like the web, which really wasn't that new at the time either. But like just the fact that they had a ranking system set up where when you beat a time attack, you get a code. You take that code online, and you're ranked on the internet, against other players that had this cool stuff.
Yeah.
You could actually take your memory card from the GameCube, take it to the arcades, and exchange data and times and all that kind of stuff. There was a mag stripe. There was a paper card, a card you got from the arcade machine that also stored
Well,
data.
yeah, and if you played F-Zero AX, you could actually take your GameCube memory card to the arcade and use that.
Yeah,
in the
no,
game.
exactly.
Yeah,
You
it
could
was
do
really
this
cool.
this interchange. But this is the cool thing. Like, it had the story mode, which starts off pretty.
It's cheesy, dude.
It's super cheesy. All the cutscenes. I mean, the costumes and the colors and the car designs. Like, F-Zero is very 80s kind of cheeseball, right?
Yeah, it is.
And they really embrace
Blade Runner?
it, though.
Would you say Blade Runner cheeseball?
No,
Lighter,
Blade Runner
a
is a
little
little
Darker.
more. Yeah, it's a little darker. This is really cheesy. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like anime, cheesy CG stuff, but like this is at a time where Nintendo published games did not have CG cutscenes, did not have voiceovers, did not have orchestrated music, right? A lot of MIDI stuff still, and like Amusement Vision just did all this crazy stuff.
And racer drama happening right here. You thought it only happened in the Fast and the Furious. You're wrong. F-Zero did it all.
They
in
really wanted to,
2003.
they really wanted to establish these characters as having storylines, just like in classic fighting games. So when you go into the player profiles, each one of these racers has their own profile with a backstory, and it's just really cool. And so, as you play through this story mode, it starts with maybe you have to race this one a couple of times and try to beat one of the levels. It gets so hard where this is one of those games where you want to throw the controller.
Well, yeah, and you want to learn the advanced techniques. The advanced techniques are absolutely integral to getting really good at this game, and learning how snaking works, or learning how the different the triggers work, especially like how to take a turn in a really smart way so that you're not losing as much acceleration.
Yeah.
Much like, I guess, racing sims, but this is obviously the other end. This is this is the arcade, like arcadiness at its
Look
peak.
at this level. And what I really appreciated, the casino level, it just looks so awesome. But what I really appreciated is it was, shooting obviously was a big thing already at the time. And this franchise just resisted that. They basically said, no, we want to focus on like the skill and they not what you're seeing right now. That's not skill.
That's not skill.
Terrible. But you're basically trying to get all these capsules as you race.
I would almost challenge you to a race, but I'm worse at this, so we'll just leave it at that.
No, but I don't have to grab them all in my first race through. You have time,
three
but
laps,
you've got these laps and you're supposed to get them. But
cool.
what an awesome game! I mean, I remember this. This makes me want to go back and get good again at it, and
same.
really beat all the levels. And unlocking the AX tracks is punishingly hard. I mean, I think it wasn't even discovered how to unlock them until a few years back, or maybe even like a year back. People were using like Game Shark type devices to unlock them. But
right.
yeah.
Well, there
game.
you have it, folks. F-Zero GX, part of our 125 Let's Plays, celebrating Nintendo's 125th anniversary. For more Let's Plays, Nintendo games, F-Zero, make sure you keep it right here at IGN.